खर्च हो रहा है शिक्षा पर, उनके लिए भी इस बजट में कोई व्यवस्था नहीं की गई है कि जिससे अनुसूचित जात, पिछड़ी जात या अन्य लोगों के गरीब बच्चों को मुफ्त में शिक्षा देने की व्यवस्था हो सके। अगर हम इस दिशा में नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे तो निश्चित रूप से हम देश का भला नहीं कर पाएंगे। फसल बीमा के बारे में भी, इस फसल बीमा होता है, सरकार जमा करती है, किसान से भी लिया जाता है, हमारी फसल नष्ट हो जाती है, उसके लिए ऐसा तरीका बनाया गया है कि कंपनी को देना न पड़े, वो केवल मुनाफा कमाता रहे। इस तरह से किसान के बारे में भी उसको लाभ देने का काम नहीं किया गया। बेरोजगार नौजवानों के बारे में भी कैसे गरीबी दूर होगी, इस बारे में भी इसमें कोई जिक्र करने का काम नहीं किया गया। मान्यवर, मेरा ये निवेदन है कि निश्चित रूप से अगर हम देश का भला चाहते हैं, हम देश को आगे ले जाना चाहते हैं, तो केवल नारे से नहीं होगा, केवल विकसित भारत कह देने से देश का विकास नहीं होगा। उसके लिए हमें योजना बनाना पड़ेगा। और जो देश की आर्थिक स्थिति है, भयावह स्थिति है, उसका जो सबसे बड़ा कारण है कि हम पूंजीपतियों को, चाहे 1 हो, 2 हो, 3 हो, उनका तो 18-18 लाख करोड़ रुपया राइट ऑफ हो जाएगा। किसान का करोड़ रुपया भी राइट ऑफ नहीं होगा। इसलिए मैं आज इसके माध्यम से ये अपेक्षा करता हूं, और निश्चित रूप से केवल हवाई बात कर देने से, केवल 500 रुपये प्रति महीना किसान को देने से, ये जो किसान सम्मान निधि है, एक किसान को मात्र 500 रुपया मिल रहा है और महीने में, उससे उसकी आमदनी बढ़ने वाली नहीं है। अगर उसको लाभ देना चाहते हैं तो आप उसको खाद पर छूट दीजिए, कीटनाशक दवाओं पर छूट दीजिए, बीज पर छूट दीजिए और विद्युत के कनेक्शन पर छूट दीजिए, तभी इसका भला होने वाला है। दूसरी तरफ अनुसूचित जात के छात्रवृत्ति का भी इसमें प्राविजन नहीं किया गया। मेरा आप सभी लोगों से माध्यम निवेदन है कि इस दिशा में भी आप पहल करने का काम करें, जिससे उनका भी दूर हो। रिजर्वेशन को आप धज्जी में उड़ा रहे हैं, उनका हक मारने का काम कर रहे हैं, वो भी पूरा करने का काम करेंगे। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आपने अवसर दिया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
ऑनरेबल मेंबर प्रोफेसर सौगत राय जी, एक मिनट प्रोफेसर सर, एक मिनट माननीय, एक मिनट, जस्ट अ मिनट। संजय जी प्लीज।
सभापति जी, मेरा अनुरोध रहेगा, बहुत ही सीनियर सांसद है लालजी वर्मा जी, लेकिन उन्होंने जो कह रहे हैं कि हेल्थ में सप्लीमेंट्री बजट केवल 89 करोड़ का, वो केवल ICMR को दिया हुआ है। पूरा बजट है सर 320 करोड़ हम दे रहे हैं ग्रांट इन एड रेयर हेल्थ डिजीज के लिए, एम्स के लिए 222 करोड़ दे रहे हैं, इसके अलावा RMCH के लिए 150 करोड़ दे रहे हैं। तो मेरा कहना है कि वो डाटा सुधार ले।
ठीक। नो, he names it. You don't talk like this, please. No. He is naming. He names Sanjay ji. जो संजय जी, that's okay. दाता, no. दाता को अगर गलत तरीके से यहाँ पर पेश नहीं होना चाहिए, किसी सभी का भी ये जिम्मेदारी होना चाहिए। अगर किसी को सुधार दिया है तो आप क्यों इसमें प्रोफेसर सौगत राय जी।
Sir, I rise to speak on the supplementary demands for grants.
आप लोग बातें करते रहे बहुत।
It's unfortunate that the finance minister is not there, but still I have some points to make and I shall be brief. Shiny Ghosh will speak the other points. The supplementary demands have been brought under Article 114(1) and 115 of the Constitution, and under 217 of the Constitution. Sir, there is nothing to oppose the supplementary grant because the money has already been spent. The government is asking for appropriation of the extra amount spent. What is the extra amount? 87,000 crores, roughly. Out of this 87,000 crores, 44,000 crores are outgo, and the rest will be made by savings from the government's expenditure. So, this 44,000 crores, where is it going? 44,000 crores, we know it will be 9,692 crores towards PM Kisan, 9,500 crores for rural telecom connectivity, rupees 6,500 crores for fertilizer subsidy, 4,000 crores for defense services. Now the problem with supplementary demand is that if you spend more money, then you push up the government's financial deficit target. The government has set a target of 4.9%. Now this supplementary demand will push up the financial deficit. Only way for the government will be to reduce its spending on infrastructure. Sir, this government is caught in a pincer movement. What is the reason? The reason is they are not being able to decide whether to go for growth or go for controlling inflation. There was a dispute between the finance minister and the Reserve Bank governor, Shaktikanto Das. The Reserve Bank wanted to keep the repo rate stable, whereas the finance minister was pressing it for reducing the repo rate so that more money could go to the economy. Ultimately, the Reserve Bank governor had to leave. Now, there is a typical crisis in the whole economy. The crisis is our growth projections for the last quarter has slipped to 5.4%. This is very damaging to the economy. Now, how does the government make up for this slip in the economy? Unless economic growth rate comes up, the country cannot progress, and this is a sharp slowdown. The main slowdown has been in manufacturing sector, which has expanded only 2.2% this year. Now, to sustain higher growth, you need more private investment. To have more private investment, you have to spend more on infrastructure. If you spend more on infrastructure, inflation will go up. So this is a double whammy that the government is caught in. And Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, made a 2-hour speech, like a speech to a school collection, but he did not touch on this basic problem of growth. And now we'll have more problems because one of our strong points was export. With Donald Trump as American president, exports will be curtailed because he will impose more tariffs. So where do we go from here? I have no objection to allowing the finance minister have a supplementary demands. But what is our answer to this basic question facing the Indian economy? Growth or control of inflation? Inflation has also shown an upward trend. It has gone up to 6.2%. So if inflation increases, who's put to difficulty, sir? The middle classes. And that is what is happening. This government has patronized the big industry. Now, I saw a figure that the profits of the big industry, I'm seeing the names, Tata, Reliance, Adani, all this, they have gone up. How? After COVID, the share of post-tax profit of companies listed in the stock exchange has risen to 5.2% of GDP, only profit. Whereas compared to this, employee compensation share has been coming down. So industrialists, capitalists are increasing their profit. The salaries of the middle classes, working classes is coming down. So one newspaper has headline, profits boom, but pay is far from fair. So this is the situation in the Indian economy. Everybody is saying that push for growth. The finance minister is here. Maybe she will reply. Earlier I had commented on her not having a foreign degree. I am withdrawing that comment. But it would have been good if the finance minister was a PhD in economics from even an Indian university. She will be able to tackle the problem in which Indian economy is caught, growth or control of inflation. At this rate of growth, 5.2% as in the last quarter, Indian economy cannot make progress. I say all this because there are many other demands to make of the finance minister. We come from the state of West Bengal, which has been deprived of 22,000 crores in NREGA funds, which has been deprived of 2,500 crores on account of PM Awas Yojana. But I am not here to speak on West Bengal demands only. I am speaking of the economy as a whole. The economy is not in a fair shape. So while we will allow the finance minister to go away all this supplementary demands money in her kitty, and if you see the supplementary demands, out of the 87,000 crores, only 19,000 crores is in capital expenditure. The rest is in revenue expenditure. So on the one hand, unless you invest in the capital expenditure in infrastructure, private investment will not come. Adanis and Ambanis depend on the government to provide the infrastructure so that they can make more profit. So all these problems in Indian economy need to be considered. I do not see anybody in the ministry, in the government, who can really tackle such a problem. It would have needed a Manmohan Singh to tackle this problem. And more advantages to the poorer sections have to be given. Sir, I don't want to prolong my speech further. The economy is hamstrung by lack of policy, by lack of clarity, and the economy cannot go on the Prime Minister's speeches only. Lastly, Mr. Venugopal has spoken about asking for a JPC inquiry against the working of the SEBI and their complicity in manipulating the shares of the Adani Group. While not emphasizing on that, I in general support his demand. So, no, let him come, but let him not manipulate the share market. If he manipulates the share market, then he shall be driven out of India ultimately, as he is being driven out of the US. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Member D.M. Katir Anandji.
Vanakkam, Chairman, sir. As a representative of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, a DMK party, I stand to address the first batch of supplementary demands for grants for the fiscal year 24-25. Sir, the supplementary demand the government seeks an approval for the additional expenditure to a tune of 87,000 crores, 87,762.56 crores. Of this, 44,142 the government is seeking the approval, and 43,618 crores the government is trying to manage by itself. Sir, if you see the demands, which are whatever they ask for, nearly 13,191 crores is asked for agriculture and farmers' welfare. 6,000 crores for fertilizers, 12,000 crores for telecommunication, 12,000 for defense, 3,000 for external affairs, police, home, 6,000 crores, and etc. Sir, I would not like to go into all the subjects, but I want to concentrate my area into agriculture. So the Ministry of Agriculture has two departments. One is agriculture, farmers welfare, and another one is agriculture, research and education. Sir, if you look at the demands, the Department of Agriculture, Farmers Welfare is responsible for implementing various schemes run by the Government of India. This includes a major scheme, PM Kisan, MISS, crop insurance, RKVY, and Krishnori Yojana, and etc. Out of this, the PM Kisan is more interesting. The BJP government once promised in 2016 to double the farmers' income by 2022. And that is the reason the PM Kisan scheme was launched in 2019. To enable the farmers to meet their agriculture and household needs, now the government is giving 6,000 rupees in 3 equal installments every year. Okay. But is it happening rightly? As per the findings of the Controller of Audit General, CAG report, the PM Kisan scheme has been mad in many areas. They say that approximately 35% of the applications were found to be ineligible for the scheme. In certain areas, the funds have been dispersed and the recovery is happening. 0.24% of the total funds are being collected, only 0.24. These discrepancies are major flaws in the scheme. PM Kisan cash benefits given in 3 separate installments aren't for all the farmers. Since they cover those with the land, that means that the scheme excludes the significant chunk, that is nearly 5.37 crores of landless families as estimated in 2011, or 2.4 crores of people with the leased land as estimated in 2019. So these people are being left out. The Standing Committee on Agriculture 2020 noted very clearly that the Kisan scheme cannot be effectively implemented because there are a lot of lacunas there. Non-availability of land records, non-transference of land to the heirs from the deceased landholders, community-owned lands in Northeast, incorrect bank details, and malfunctioning of Aadhaar connections. So the committee also observed benefits under such schemes are not available to tenant farmers because not all agricultures are landowners. As per the information provided by an unstarred question in this July 2024, no specific census or survey has been conducted to ascertain the number of landless farmers in the country. So how do you find that the Kisan scheme is a successful one? Why are we demanding more money? However, the agriculture census recorded that these kind of landless farmers are nearly around 5,31,000 people are there. They are waiting for this kind of funds. So another one is MISS scheme. The budget says that the intervention subvention scheme is increased from 18,000 crores in the revised estimates of 23-24 to 22,600 crores in 24-25 before estimates, reflecting a 22% increase. Sir, another major important flaw is the crop insurance scheme. The budget for the crop insurance scheme has seen a 3% decrease from 15,000 crores from the estimates to 14,600 crores in the budget estimate 2025. This reduction is particularly given for the frequency of climate-related disasters, which has to be increased. The Standing Committee, once again on agriculture, called upon on 2023, raised concern about how the ministry plans to implement the schemes for raising because of the extreme weather conditions. Sir, agriculture is the backbone of India. If we talk about agriculture, there are very important things that has to be discussed. Sir, Tamil Nadu, which is supposed to be the major agriculture state in the southern India. Sir, if you see the history, many states have given budgets. But Tamil Nadu government, I would like to proudly say, Tamil Nadu government is the first government in the first state in trying to follow that scheme. Now, our Chief Minister is following the root steps of Dr. M. Karunanidhi Avargal. How is he doing it? Now, he is extending the scheme such a way that nearly 3 to 3.5 lakh of agricultures have been benefited because of this kind of scheme. The government should propose a budget like that. And also, we are discussing about agriculture, which is an important issue in this country. But Tamil Nadu government is setting an example. Before the budget, the Tamil Nadu government has set aside norms such a way that the agriculture budget is filed first for discussion, a separate budget is included, then the general budget comes in. Sir, this is how a government should run. Sir, for Tamil Nadu government, we have got lot of requirements. Sir, subsidy for the production or distribution of seeds should be extended for all the varieties. Under the FNS scheme, paddy seed subsidy should be increased for more than 10 years. Again, now we are talking about cereals. Sir, jowar and kambu, which needs a seed subsidy for 10,000 to be increased to 15,000 per quintal. Sir, I'm concluding, sir. Don't worry. Sir, Tamil Nadu government has asked for relief, but the government of India is not at all caring about it. Sir, we are focusing on agriculture. We are facing a lot of difficulties, but the government of India doesn't even have time to look at that. Sir, the GST is laid for rice. Sir, 5% for GST on rice, which has to be reduced. Sir, 32 metric tons of wheat was allocated for Tamil Nadu, but now it is reduced. It has to be increased. Sir, request the wheat allotment to be increased. Sir, kerosene distribution, which is a major issue in Tamil Nadu, it has been reduced. Sir, I am concluding, sir.
1 minute.
Sir, we are people living in hilly area, they have to be benefited. Sir, and another important thing is that whenever any government comes to power, the major thing that they are talking about is for employment. But this government, after the government came in, I don't think that there is any improvement in the employment rate. Generation. And also, one example I want to quote, sir. Please give me a minute more, sir. One example I want to quote. Sir, I have been in this August House in the last session and I have been re-elected again. But I've been fighting from the day one for installation and opening of the Vellore airport. I fought in this house and the government gave money. The airport was implemented. I'm concluding, sir. Sir, during the election last time, our Honorable Prime Minister visited Vellore. He landed in the same Vellore airport. He made his arrival there. He went into Vellore district and campaigned. But till today, the airport has not seen an opening ceremony at all, sir. We are waiting for that. Sir,
thank you.
And also,
thank you, Honorable Member.
Money has been asked for defense. I'm concluding, sir. Madam Finance Minister, you are allocating a lot of money for the defense. We are happy about it. But one issue I want to bring to your notice. There are a lot of ex-servicemen in the country. They are all going for treatment to medical hospitals. But in many areas, private hospitals are not giving proper treatment at all. The families which have suffered in war and they lost their organs or hand or leg or handicapped still are facing a big difficulty. Even in Vellore, lot of private hospitals are ignoring the ex-military persons for medical assistance.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Honorable Member M.
Sir,
Srinivas.
sir, I'm concluding, sir. Last point, sir.
No.
Last point, I'm concluding, sir.
30 seconds, you come,
Sir.
please. 30 seconds.
This, sir, we are citizens of India. We want work with India. When we want to work with India, we want to work with the government also. But the government has to make sure they do not see Tamil Nadu as an enemy state.
Okay.
They have to see it
Please,
as a state of India.
Please start.
Sir, Speaker, sir, please permit me to speak from this seat, sir. Sir, respected sir, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the supplementary demands of grants 2024 and 25, sir. Sir, on behalf of my party, Telugu Desam Party, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, we welcome the supplementary demands for grants 2024-25 and the appropriation bill, sir. Sir, you are all aware that, the confidence level in the world itself has gone up because, our Honorable Prime Minister has brought so many schemes in this country, sir, to take care of, poor people. Sir, now, if you see that also, sir, in the world itself, now there are 210 notified countries. Out of that, more than 50% of the countries are all approaching our Honorable Prime Minister for resolving this problem, sir. He is looking like a big brother in the entire world, sir. So now, sir, if you take here, this in the last general budget earlier this year, sir, during the monsoon session, the NDA government, under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi ji, recognizing the dire situation that my state of Andhra Pradesh was in, announced funding of more than 25,000 crores for our state, sir, our capital and infrastructure overall. So I am very, very thankful to, sir, our Honorable Prime Minister and our Honorable Finance Minister. Sir, this will only brought life back into our state, but also inspired by fellow Andhra brothers, sir. Since previous government was looking after only welfare, not the development. Now at least under the leadership of our Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu Garu, the development is also we are going to see in entire Andhra Pradesh, sir. Sir, inspired by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for an Atmanirbhar Viksit Bharat, our Chief Minister, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister launched this scheme, Swarna Andhra 2047, sir. There, he is aiming for 2.4 trillion dollar economy with the state annual growth of rate of 15%, sir. Sir, here if you see that, we have got a lot of issues pending also in Andhra Pradesh, sir. Sir, here I request you through you, sir, Honorable Finance Minister, sir. Here, now what is required is lot of central government schemes have been also allotted to state governments. But actually, state governments are unable to fulfill those projects, sir, because for paucity of funds. For that, now our Honorable Prime Minister also, because the visionary Mr. Chandrababu Naidu has got 46 years of political experience and governance. So he has found so many ways, sir. That is P4, public, private, people's participation. With that, at least they can complete it, sir. Not only that, sir, HAM model, sir, hybrid annuity model is also one more scheme. If Government of India has to permit, sir, then the central government funds will be there, state government funds, developer will be there, funding agency. So that all the pending, programs also can be, totally implemented, sir. I request, actually, Honorable Finance Minister through you, sir. Sir, GST is a big collection thing also. 16 lakh crores we are getting for the entire country. Here, I request to suggest to you, sir, what is required for improving the states, sir. Sir, you have to create, healthy states, reasonably healthy states, or not healthy states like that, some brackets have to be created. Then only, sir, at least in that formula itself, you should allow also, because GST 100% means 50% only will go to state government. It is not so. It's so up to 75%. It should go to the state government, sir. Then only state governments can be so healthy also, sir. Sir, mainly, speaking about the demands for grant, sir, this urban and housing and urban department is last year budget itself 85,000 crores have been allotted, sir. We request, sir, now honorable members are also here, sir, to increase it to 1.5 crores, sir. Oh, sorry, 1.5. That is 1.5 lakh crores. 1.5 lakh crores, sir. Sir, in Andhra Pradesh, we have got some issues also, sir. This overall I'm talking about NIMS. There is a National Industrial Manufacturing Zone at Kanigiri Assembly constituency. It has been announced by long back central government, sir. But it's not moving also forward. I request through you also the Honorable Prime Minister and the modernization of Buckingham Canal, sir, in Andhra Pradesh. It is a big one, sir, no, because it starts from Kakinada to Chennai. That Buckingham Canal is the oldest canal, sir. No, Britishers have, they have started the operations. That is very much required for our state also, sir. Sir, some of the medical colleges which have been started by previous government, about 16 medical colleges, only 3 have been, taken in the government, that is central government sponsored, sir. Rest of the medical colleges also have to be, taken up and everything, so that the state also will complete those things, sir. Sir, mainly, our Honorable Chief Minister is, his pet project is that, sir. Earlier, our Honorable, Prime Minister Vajpayee ji, dream project is Ganga to Kaveri interlinking of rivers, sir. So now, our visionary, our Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu garu, has taken up, sir, now Godavari to Penna. It's about 72,000 crores projects, sir, that interlinking of water. So that all the people in Andhra Pradesh will have irrigation facility and drinking facilities, sir. I request through you, Honorable Prime Minister, to help in this regard, sir. So central intervention is also required, and if it is taken as a national project, we will be happy to also to be associated with that project, sir. Sir, Veligonda project is, sir, in that place itself. It needs about 3,500 crores, sir, for Veligonda project. That project also has to be completed, sir, with the help of, central government, sir, Now, that is also, hanging on like that, sir. Please, if you know, sir, my last, sir, now standing committee, we have got. So, study tours are there, in the domestic itself. All the states, they are sending their MLAs, to abroad also for study and everything. I request through you, sir, all the members also will accept for that. Some foreign tours also has to be, done also through that, sir, so that we'll all feel happy about it. And my last, favorite for everybody, MP lads have to be increased, sir. It is pending for a long time. Only 5 crores have been assigned about 10 years back. But it is, sir, through the honorable MPs only, all the central government schemes also being implemented. But kindly, it should be increased to up to 25 crores, sir. If we're able to do it, we'll be happy also, sir. Sir, sir, so many, issues have been, highlighted here also in this, budget itself. I thank, this now, Modi ji's government 3.0, sir. It's going to be, successful in this 18th Lok Sabha. Many more things, developmental schemes also will have in our country, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member Onil Desai ji.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Deputy Chairman, sir. So the appropriation bill number 3, bill 2024, is being considered in the House, and I think the Honorable Finance Minister will take the consent of the House. Before that, sir, this is the mic is on.
Mic is on.
The last quarter, if we go by, that last quarter, the figures, the data released by the National Statistics Office, which stood at 5.4%, much lower than the expectations projected by the Reserve Bank of India, which stood at 7%, more than 7%. So during this period, not only that it has come down on an average, but manufacturing sector has taken a heavy beating. That growth stood at around only 2.2%. Along with that, even construction sector and mining sector also showed the growth on a lower side. And compared to, it was 7% in the last quarter, first quarter. So this has the growth rate, low growth rate expected. It is going to create complications in the remaining half of the financial year. This is going to impact the economic growth, economic performance in the second half. The fiscal management will be also issue, and it will be a challenge for the government to contain it at a lower level. And if the target of 4.9% is to be achieved, it will have to cut down majorly on its government expenditure. And when the government expenditure comes down or it is reduced, it is halted, the result is that growth in unemployment, as it is, we have seen the effects of slower activity, which is already there in the society, in the country. The question is how we will mop up for the rest, or how will we be able to contain. The only answer what we see that private investment need to come into play. Whether the conditions prevailing in the country will induce the private investment come and really boost the economy. It's it's a big question in front of the not only government but for the people of India, as the society, after all, society is suffering. So today India's youth is restless as unemployment is growing by the day. He is in the search of the job. The government, central government, tries its best by declaring schemes like startup, giving some concessions, declaring that skill will be taken into account, and skill centers are being opened by the day. But this remains on the paper. The reality on the field is something different. So this startup programs, more or less, I mean, we've been seeing that very few, they emerge successful, and majority of them, they flop. They're not able to come, or they are not able to do the things they had purpose in mind. So the everlasting inflation, the ever-growing inflation rather, is not going to come down, and this has broken through the budget of the families, middle class and the poor. And by the day, like essentials or vegetable prices, though it comes in the paper for a day or a fortnight that the consumer price index has come down and some kind of joyous situation prevails only in the treasury benches, but in reality the society is still suffering, and their woes are to be heard by the government and put into practice. I think this appropriation will take care of all this. So agriculture sector, basically agriculture sector is the only sector where we could see the growth in the last quarter. It has to maintain this and to give some motivation to the farmers. The reality is the government should think of giving MSP the way they are thinking, the way it is being calculated by the farmers. It is not that doubling the income of the farmers in so-and-so period, which could never take place, but it should not be an everlasting phase. It should really mean that farmers, they get MSP. Like in Maharashtra, soybean or cotton or maize, cultivating farmers are suffering because MSP, whatever is being declared, that is not coming up to their expectations. I think that needs to be taken into consideration. And finally, sir, I would put it this way, that expenditure, now there is a provision made in the Department of Public Enterprises for meeting additional expenditure towards salaries and allowances. My humble request would be with the Honorable Finance Minister that the Insurance Act, which is in the offing, that it is going for the amendment, and this Insurance Act will provide for 100% FDI, and composite license is being thought. It is contemplated that composite license will be issued to the private players, and all the government companies, all the public sector units in general insurance and life insurance sectors will be kept aside. This will deprive them of their making the business, who had the monopoly in the sector, and they did well. And over the years, all these companies, may it be General Re or LIC or New India Assurance, they have been paying handsome dividends to the coffers of the central government. But the irony of the fact is that these very companies will be deprived in the bill which is being contemplated to be brought in. I think Finance Minister, Honorable Sitharamanji, Honorable Finance Minister, I am addressing a very important. You are aware of it. You are aware of the issue what I am making a mention about. That these general insurance companies, banks have got their upward wage revision. LIC has followed it. Only general insurance companies like New India Assurance, United India, National Insurance, General Re, they are awaiting their turn to get upward pay revision. I think enough of provision is being made, and Nirmala Sitharamanji has shown that even that keen interest to see these people also get their due. I'll be extremely happy. And last request for GST rationalization in the rates of Mediclaim. The entire country is awaiting your decision. I think in the month of December, this GST Council was to take decision. It is yet to come. If it comes, that will give a good relief to the people of India. Thank you very much.
माननीय सदस्य श्रीमती सुप्रिया सूले जी.
Stand on behalf of the NCP-SP in support of the list of supplementary demands for grants. Sir, obviously after every budget, clearly it's evident that every department states have their own issues, challenges in implementing the budgets. So clearly this list of supplementary demands is something we all support because we do understand it's the need of the hour. And I must say that compared to the last time, this time it clearly comes far more organized because the amount is much lesser than last time. So I would compliment the entire department for being, I think, either more organized or more structured or working better, whatever it is. But we're much more satisfied than what we were the last time for the demands of grants. Right now, India, clearly because of the global scenario, I do understand India is no more an insulated economy. So we do understand that every economy which is not insulated has its own challenges. And I think we really need to put all our minds, and this entire house needs to be together in what awaits India's economy in the world scenario. Because clearly a few points which everybody earlier has said that the growth has come down to 5.4, which is clearly alarming, and I'm sure the Honorable Finance Minister is also as alarmed as we are. But clearly a decrease in consumption growth, persistent inflation, necessity of sticking to a monetary policy, the alarming lower private investments and sluggish FDIs clearly are worrying all of us. The job, I just would like to have pointed questions to the Honorable Finance Minister, because as we are elected representatives, there are a few questions, if you could kindly in a reply, reassure the nation as what steps is this government taking for job creation given the scenario and the economy where it's going? How are you going to increase the consumption or the purchasing power right now, considering the growth has slowed down? The food and retail inflation, how are you going to reduce it? What steps are you going to take? How are you going to increase? India was always a savings economy. With the changing scenario, the global scenario, people are clearly, it's becoming a more spending economy. There was a time where interest rates used to be at 11 and 13%, used to be double digit. Now it's come down to 6 and 7. So people are not saving as much as they do, which is going to hurt our economy in the long run eventually. And the increase in income, given this scenario and slowing down, how are incomes going to increase for the earlier questions? And how are you going, what steps, specific steps is this government going to take to increase domestic investments? Earlier when she brought in the bill for banking, which we all supported, I even brought out an issue of the NBFCs. I would like to ask, just out of concern, that NBFCs are encouraging, they are growing. But there are a lot of deposits which people put. Is there a regulator that she has in mind for all these NBFCs? Because these are people, these NBFCs reach the last person. So it has to be regulated. So what are the checks and balances or mechanism that this government has in mind so that they all feel very safe and secure like normal banks do? So that's my first question. The other question I'd like to ask the Honorable Finance Minister is, we have a huge unorganized sector in this country. So even in today's reply, in the morning, there was a reply given by the government that they are trying to consolidate the entire unorganized sector and bring them under some protection scheme, that all the schemes that are done by the government of India are supported. It's called some 21-point program that this government has started. So if there is a huge unorganized sector even today in India, how are you going to consolidate, and is there a timeline for it? Because today you have said you've got about 30 crore people under that scheme, which is not clearly covering all the unorganized sector. So what steps are you doing? And there has to be a timeline. I'm not taking away from the intention of the government that you really want to take everybody, which is including the gig workers, the domestic help, all these are even today unorganized. So do you have a plan to bring every Indian who fits in the unorganized sector to come into an organized sector which will eventually help our economy. The fiscal deficit, which a lot of people have spoken about me, but I would like to ask her about, is that you keep talking about a $5 trillion economy, which a size of our economy will reach $1 trillion quite easily. I don't think whether they were in power or we would reach $5 trillion economy just because of the size of our country. But if you have to look at the fiscal deficit, one way of is to print more notes. If you print more notes, clearly the inflation will go up. Tax is increasing, you're saying more people are coming in the tax. But what specific steps are you taking? Because whatever numbers are showing that the foreign borrowing has substantially gone up in this country. So how is this government going to manage this fiscal deficit the way the global scenario and India's economy slow down? How are you going to push growth? And the current account deficit, this is another very important question, because exports have gone down and imports have gone up. So if one side you have exports going down, imports are increasing. So how is this current account deficit going to be managed given the global scenario? I'm not blaming you for imports going down. I do understand, no, I'm not an economist, but I do understand that much, that given the global scenario, the exports have gone down. So what steps is the government going to say? Because I think the entire reply of the Honorable Finance Minister will give the confidence to this country which it lacks right now because of the war going on. What we hear, President Trump's administration is going on about tariffs. These things come into newspapers and it clearly affects the markets. I would like to highlight one very important point which has alarmed me personally. The Honorable yesterday in his reply, the Honorable Prime Minister talked about an 11-point program. I welcome that 11-point program. He made one very important point in it where he said that we want zero corruption in this country. I support him wholeheartedly if he really walks the talk. My question to him is, he in 2014 had mentioned that we will work with Switzerland and bring every penny of black money which is in Switzerland back to India. I don't want to get into that 15 crore wala. I'm not getting into that. I'm saying something 15 lakh. I want to make a more serious point in this. I'm not doing a political point here at all. My point is, in the newspapers in the last few weeks, there's an issue about taxation about Nestle. I don't care whether it's Nestle. For me, Next is as X factor, as we can call it. It's not about the company, the point I'm making. We in Switzerland had a very good relationship for decades. We have worked with them. You have talked about economic issues with them, bringing black money from there, all that. So you had committed to the nation that we will work closer with Switzerland and get all that information and bring that money back to this country. My question, in 2 minutes I'll miss it. It's a very important issue and nobody else has raised it so far, and it's really important, I feel. So in this Nestle issue, it's not about the company alone. The health minister has confirmed that the Nestle report does not show anything bad about the Nestle product. So they have given them a clean sheet in simple language. Now, if we are at loggerheads with Switzerland, they have, from the most favored nation, removed India from there. At one level, we are looking to be a global player, improving our relationships with all the investments more. How is India going to build a confidence? And Nestle is a global brand, whether we like it or not. I'm not praising a single brand. It's not about Nestle. It's about every foreign company which is looking to invest in India. And it's a win-win for both of us, for Nestle as well as us, because Nestle has a lot of companies, and most foreign companies also, when we are talking about FDIs, invest in India. They create jobs, they create wealth for Indians, and it helps the Indian economy. So what is the logic of this government, and could you kindly clarify the stand on this? Talking about agriculture, Sanjay Bhaiya is unfortunately not here, but he extensively talked about agriculture. I appreciate that they have started many schemes, but I would like to specifically ask this government that they have committed to a complete loan waiver, especially from the state I come from, be it soybean, be it cotton, be it milk. उनकी सरकार ने कहा था कि हम पूरा कर्जा माफ करेंगे महाराष्ट्र के हर किसान का. So will this government commit, because eventually that economy is not doing well in Maharashtra. So they have completely crossed all their loan things. So I would like to ask the Honorable Finance Minister that in the intervention that she has made, she has promised and committed that they are going to give a lot of money for agriculture, which I welcome. But will there be a complete loan waiver? And आज ही सुबह हमारे नासिक के जो सांसद है बगरे सर, उन्होंने जो which is a combination, वो एग्रीकल्चर मंत्रालय कॉमर्स मंत्रालय और फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर तीनों को मिलकर इसका निर्णय लेना पड़ेगा कि महाराष्ट्र में प्याज, सोयाबीन हो, दूध हो या कपास हो, बट सबसे अभी क्राइसिस चल रहा है प्याज का। सो द कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री ने 40% से 20% एक्सपोर्ट का टैक्स अभी लगाया है। उसके बाद पिछले हफ्ते 4,000 रुपये क्विंटल में जा रहा था, आज 1,500 रुपये में प्याज आया है। आज किसान महाराष्ट्र में रो रहा है। तो मेरी फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री से विनती है कि आप कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री और एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्ट्री से बात करें, कंसोलिडेटेड।
धन्यवाद माननीय
क्योंकि हमेशा वो कहती है
माननीय सदस्य
प्राइस
श्री
स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन
नरेश महासके जी,
stabilization fund. If you can intervene, then it will be of great help to us. Just two last points. You have even asked for money for census and surveys in this thing. My question, chalu hai. In this budget, now this government talks about delimitation as well as the महिला आरक्षण बिल जो आपने लाया, तो राजी खुशी हम सब ने पास किया था। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कल उसके बारे में भी बोला कि बहुत अच्छी तरह इम्प्लीमेंट होगा। अगर वो 29 में इम्प्लीमेंट होना हो तो when will this government have this census
माननीय सदस्य
delimitation?
नरेश महासके
Constitutions are 23 lakhs, मेरा निर्वाचन क्षेत्र 23 लाख। इसके बारे में अभी रेड्डी जी भी बोल रहे थे कि आज हमें 5 करोड़ रुपया मिला।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय सदस्य, प्लीज।
धन्यवाद। आज मुझे सप्लीमेंट्री डिमांड फॉर ग्रांट्स में मेरी पार्टी
आप बोलिए माननीय सदस्य, आप बोलिए।
मेरी पार्टी शिवसेना की तरफ से बोलने का आपने अवसर दिया। मैं सबसे पहले तो महाराष्ट्र की जनता को नमन करता हूं कि इन्होंने एक ऐतिहासिक जीत का आशीर्वाद हमारी महायुति को दिया और संविधान बचाने का ढोंग रचने वाले को करारा जवाब दिया है। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि हमारी महायुति सरकार सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास की विचारधारा के साथ अगले 5 साल काम करेगी और हम जनता की आशाओं और आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करेंगे। महोदय, आज जब हम अमृत काल की बातें करते हैं तो हम बात करते हैं पिछड़े वर्ग के विकास की, महिलाओं की विकास की, युवाओं के विकास की और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण इस देश के विकास की। और हमारे लिए हमारे पंतप्रधान जी और वित्त मंत्री जी पूरी लगन के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। बैंकिंग क्षेत्र हो, रिकॉर्ड एफडीआई हो, डिजिटल इंडिया हो, स्वच्छ भारत हो या आवास योजना, इन सभी के कारण आज देश एक नई दिशा में जा रहा है, विकसित भारत की तरफ जा रहा है। यूपीए के समय हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था अनर्थ व्यवस्था बन गई थी और रोज अखबारों में सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचार, आतंकवादी हमले और बर्बाद होती अर्थव्यवस्था की खबरें आती थी। लेकिन आज हम भारत को विश्व की सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था के रूप में देखते हैं। भारत में निवेश देखते हैं और रोजगार देखते हैं। आज भारत ध्रुव तारे की तरह विश्व की पटल पे चमक रहा है। मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूं, कैसे कांग्रेस ने अर्थव्यवस्था को बर्बाद किया। यूपीए के सरकार की तरफ से जारी 1.31 लाख करोड़ रुपए के ऑयल बॉन्ड्स का भुगतान मौजूदा व आगामी केंद्र सरकार को इस वर्ष अक्टूबर से लेकर मार्च 2026 के बीच करना होगा। इस दशक पहले केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से जारी इस मूल्य के 2 बॉन्ड्स के लिए अब मूल और ब्याज के तौर पे 20,000 करोड़ रुपए का भुगतान करना है। इसके बाद वर्ष 2023 में सरकार को 22,000 करोड़ रुपए का बॉन्ड्स और 2024 में 40,000 करोड़ रुपए का बॉन्ड्स का भुगतान करना होगा।
इस वर्ष 2026 में 37,000 करोड़ रुपए का उनका बॉन्ड्स लोन का बोझ उठाना पड़ेगा। और दूसरी तरफ हमारी सरकार ने तेल और गैस क्षेत्र में सब्सिडी को 85% तक घटाने का ऐतिहासिक कार्य किया है। 2013 में ये सब्सिडी $25 मिलियन थी, अब $3.5 मिलियन तक सिमट गई है। इसके अलावा पेट्रोलियम तेल, बिटुमिन्स खनिजों के प्राप्त तेलों के निर्यात मूल्य भी बढ़ोतरी हुई है। 2014 में ये $60.84 बिलियन था, जब $84.96 बिलियन तक पहुंच गया है, जो वैश्विक बाजार में हिस्सेदारी का 12.59% है। यह सिर्फ आंकड़ों का नहीं, विचारधारा का भी है। ये फर्क, आपने कर्ज निर्भर भारत बनाया, हमने आत्मनिर्भर भारत। महोदय, मागच्या सत्रामध्ये मी म्हणालो होतो, काँग्रेसमध्ये राहुल जी आल्यानंतर राहुल काल सुरू झालेला आहे। राहुलजींच्या कृपेने महाराष्ट्राच्या महाविकास आघाडीमध्ये सुद्धा राहुल काल सुरू झालेला आहे। कांग्रेस के लिए मैं एक सनी देओल का एक डायलॉग बोलना चाहता हूं। ये कांग्रेस का हाथ है, जिस पार्टी पर पड़ता है ना, वो उठता नहीं और उठ जाता है। उद्धव ठाकरे जी की पार्टी की भी महाराष्ट्र में इसी तरह की हालत हो गई है। उनकी ये मशाल अब बुझने लगी है और बाला साहब ठाकरे जी का हिंदुत्व का विचार भी और राहुल जी के साथ जाने से उन्होंने जला दिया है। उसका ये नतीजा है, आज उनको कांग्रेस के वोट बैंक पर निर्भर होना पड़ रहा है। दूसरी तरफ हमारे पक्ष नेता और उप मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी का धनुष्य बाण और मजबूत हो गया है। इसीलिए महाराष्ट्र में 80 लाख लोगों ने शिवसेना को वोट दिया है। एकनाथ शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व पे विश्वास रखा है, क्योंकि उन्होंने हिंदुत्व बचाने का काम किया है। संविधान में जो दायित्व हमें दिया गया है, उसको लाड़की बहन योजना, लाड़का बाहू योजना, अपना दवाखाना, समृद्धि महामार्ग और कोस्टल रोड जैसी योजना के माध्यम से पूरा करने का काम उन्होंने किया है। आज इस सप्लीमेंट्री डिमांड फॉर ग्रांट्स में मैं पंतप्रधान जी और वित्त मंत्री जी को भी धन्यवाद देता हूं। आज उसके माध्यम से 83 ग्रांट्स और 3 अप्रोप्रिएशन के माध्यम से कुल 762.56 करोड़ की राशि दी गई है और इसमें से 44,142.87 करोड़ का व्यय नेट कैश आउटगो के रूप में और 43,618.53 करोड़ की धनराशि विभिन्न मंत्रालय और विभागों की बचत और बढ़ी हुई प्राप्तियों के माध्यम से पूरी की जाएंगी। कृषि क्षेत्र के लिए 7,691.81 करोड़ का प्रावधान किया है, जिसमें किसानों की समृद्धि और आत्मनिर्भरता पे विशेष जोर दिया गया है। महोदय, सभी प्रावधान विकसित भारत और विकसित महाराष्ट्र के सपने को साकार करेंगे और विपक्ष के साथी कह रहे थे सिर्फ 87,000 करोड़ रुपए से क्या होगा। मैं समझ सकता हूं उनकी चिंता है कि उनको क्यों कम लग रहा है ये राशि, क्योंकि उन्होंने तो सिर्फ डबल पैसे का भ्रष्टाचार किया है। चाहे 2G हो, CWD हो और अब एक नया स्कैम आया है। राहुल जी ने इंडिया अलायंस के नेतृत्व के नाम पे क्षेत्रीय पार्टी को बर्बाद करने का एक स्कैम कर रहे हैं। जो विपक्ष के साथी कह रहे थे भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था बुरी है, उनके लिए मैं कुछ आंकड़े देना चाहता हूं। 2014 से 2024 के बीच में बैंकों की शाखाओं में उल्लेखनीय वृद्धि हो गई है। मार्च 2014 में कुल 1,17,990 शाखाएं थी, अब बढ़ के 1,65,501 हो गई है। दो मिनट। ग्रामीण शाखाओं की संख्या 41,855 से बढ़ के 55,370 2 हो गई है। इसी तरह सेमी अर्बन शाखा है 32,504 से बढ़कर 45,314 और अर्बन शाखा है 21,007 से बढ़कर 29,276 हो गई है। यह विस्तार ग्रामीण और शहर की भारत के बीच वित्तीय समावेशन मजबूत कर रहा है। इस नई ऊर्जा और दृष्टिकोण के साथ भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था दुनिया के लिए एक मिसाल बन गई है। ये केवल सुधार नहीं है बल्कि एक सशक्त और समृद्ध भारत का निर्माण की यात्रा है। इस अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल का मैं समर्थन करता हूं। अंत में विपक्ष वालों को एक शायरी के माध्यम से मैसेज देना चाहता हूं। इस मोड़ पर घबरा कर न थम जाइए आप, इस मोड़ पर घबरा कर न थम जाइए आप, जो बात नहीं है उसे अपनाइए आप। डरते हैं क्यों नई राह पर चलने से हम आगे चलते हैं, पीछे आइए आप। धन्यवाद।
माननीय सदस्य श्री मनीष तिवारी जी।
सभापति महोदय, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सप्लीमेंट्री डिमांड्स फॉर ग्रांट्स एक उक्त समय है कि भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था के ऊपर एक बार दोबारा से व्यापक चर्चा करने का, और ये चर्चा उस समय हो रही है जब दूसरे तिमाही में भारत की जो अर्थव्यवस्था है उसका वृद्धि रेट 5.4% पे आ गया है। आरबीआई का अनुमान था कि अर्थव्यवस्था 7% से बढ़ेगी। उपभोक्ता की खपत कमजोर हुई। निगमित आय कर में 2019-20 में कटौती करने के बावजूद जो निजी निवेश है वो निजी निवेश बढ़ा नहीं है। गवर्नमेंट कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर की बैसाखी के सहारे ये अर्थव्यवस्था चल रही है। इस वर्ष 15,01,890 लाख करोड़ का सरकार की तरफ से कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर होगा, पर जैसे ही सरकार ने इसके क्रम में थोड़ी सी कमी की है, अर्थव्यवस्था के ऊपर उसका सीधा सीधा असर दिखना शुरू हो गया है। भारत का जो निर्यात है वो कम हुआ है। गुड्स जो का क्षेत्र है उसमें जो भारत का शेयर है पूरी दुनिया की अर्थव्यवस्था का वो सिर्फ 1.8% है और सर्विसेज में वो शेयर 4.3%। इस परिप्रेक्ष्य में सरकार सदन के समक्ष 87,762.56 करोड़ की मांग लेके आई है, जिससे जो सरकार का वित्तीय घाटा है या जो सरकार का खर्चा है वो 39,08,276.56 लाख करोड़ पर पहुंच जाएगा। सभापति महोदय, कोई भी अर्थव्यवस्था 5 बिंदुओं पे खड़ी है। सबसे पहला सेविंग्स बचत, दूसरा कंजम्पशन खपत, तीसरा इन्वेस्टमेंट निवेश, चौथा प्रोडक्शन उत्पादन और पांचवा एम्प्लॉयमेंट यानी रोजगार। और इन्हीं पांचों मापदंड के ऊपर भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था के, और दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण तरीके से कहना पड़ रहा है, पर कच्छे उड़े हुए। फरवरी 2024 में जब वित्त मंत्री एक कथाकथित श्वेत पत्र लेके आई थी, उस समय भी मैंने कुछ आंकड़े दिए थे और मैं वो आंकड़े आज इस सदन के समक्ष दोहराना चाहता हूं। वर्ष 2013-14 में जो सेविंग्स टू जीडीपी रेशो था इस मुल्क का वो 34% था। वर्ष 2023-24 में वो घटकर 31% रह गया है। जो प्राइवेट फाइनेंशियल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर है, जिस उपभोक्ता खपत की मैंने पहले बात की थी, वो 2013-14 में 60% था। 2023-24 आते आते वो 55% पे गिर गया। इन्वेस्टमेंट टू जीडीपी रेशो, जो निवेश अर्थव्यवस्था में होता है, 2013-14 में इन्वेस्टमेंट टू जीडीपी रेशो 33.8% था। 2023-24 में वो 29.6% पर गिर गया है। जो ग्रॉस कैपिटल फिक्स्ड कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन है वो 2013 में 2013-14 में 31.3% थी। 2023-24 में वो गिरकर 30.8% महज रह गई है। और जो बेरोजगारी दर है वो 2013-14 में 5.42% था, 2023-24 में बढ़कर 8% हो गया है। नवंबर 2024 में ये जो बेरोजगारी दर था ये 8% था। सरकार ये कहती है कि हमने 2015 और 23 के बीच 25 करोड़ लोगों को गरीबी रेखा से ऊपर उठाया है, पर मैं सरकार को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि वर्ष 2004 से लेकर 2014 तक 27 करोड़ लोगों को गरीबी रेखा से ऊपर उठाया गया था। सरकार ये कहती है कि हम 81.35 करोड़ लोगों को निःशुल्क राशन दे रहे हैं। हम नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट लेके आए थे जब हम सरकार में थे। हम चाहेंगे आप 140 करोड़ लोगों को निःशुल्क राशन दीजिए, पर बुनियादी सवाल ये है कि रोजगार कहां है? आपके अर्थव्यवस्था में रोजगार नहीं पैदा हो रहा, इसलिए आपको निःशुल्क राशन लोगों को देना पड़ रहा है। सरकार ये कहती है कि पिछले 5 साल में जो कृषि का वृद्धि दर है वो 4.18% था। इस वर्ष वो गिरकर 1.41% रह गया है। अगर 5 वर्ष में सभापति महोदय कृषि का वृद्धि दर 4.18% से बढ़ा था, तो पिछले 10 वर्ष में मनरेगा का बजट इतना क्यों बढ़ा है? 2013-14 में जिसे ये सरकार गड्ढे खोदने की स्कीम कहती थी, उस पे लागत आती थी 32,992.83 करोड़। 2024-25 में वो बढ़कर 86,000 करोड़ हो गई है। जो परसेंटेज थे मनरेगा के तहत 2014-15 में सिर्फ 165.64 करोड़ परसेंटेज थे। 2023-24 में 309.1 करोड़ परसेंटेज हो गए हैं। मैं सरकार से ये कहना चाहता हूं, पिछले इतने वर्ष से जो हमारे किसान हैं वो सड़क पे बैठे हैं। हमारे जो किसान हैं वो दिल्ली आने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं सरकार से बात करने के लिए उन मांगों के ऊपर जिन मांगों ने को सरकार ने स्वीकार किया था जब वो 3 काले कानून उन्होंने वापस लिए थे। मैं सरकार से पूछना चाहता हूं कि ये किसानों से बात करने के लिए तैयार क्यों नहीं है? एक तरफ तो आप किसानों को अन्नदाता कहते हैं और दूसरी तरफ आप उनकी तौहीन करते हैं, उनके ऊपर टीयर गैस छोड़ते हैं, उनके ऊपर रबर बुलेट्स चलाते हैं और भारत के किसानों की आप लोग जो रोज बेइज्जती